Mic check, mic check. What's up, YouTube? We're back. And today we have a special live stream that's going to actually turn into a long form content video. We're going to go ahead and use Hayden Winks from Underdog Network, his draft rankings from the Underdog site. That would be the Underdog Network site, which is the blog site, not the actual Underdog fantasy site. But yeah, he went ahead and made rankings, which we've already uploaded into our own rankings on Underdog. So these are all his projections. We're gonna go ahead and use them to draft. We will, however, base it off need and necessity during the draft. So whenever we're drafting, if we need a quarterback or if we need a running back, whatever it may be, we're going to try to take the highest ranked person, see what kind of values we can get. But yeah, last year we did this. We also did the Fantasy Pros rankings ones. I like to do some other ones that have free rankings out there just to get a feel and then kind of track them during the season to where they land. Last year, the Fantasy Pros one actually helped us get to the finals in a puppy. I'm not sure where this team finished, or the team that we did with the these rankings last year, where they finished in a draft. So be curious to note that. But yeah, I plan on making this into a long form video. Again, like I said, this will be Hayden Winks rankings from the Underdog Network website, blog site, and yeah, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna draft a Schnauzer 2 with these rankings. If you guys want to go ahead and check out those rankings yourselves, I'll have a link in the description below to see for yourself. If you're interested in what we're drafting on, Underdog Fantasy, link in the description, code Temptation for up to $1,000 deposit match on your first deposit. And yeah, let's get into a lobby here. We will just do 20-second pick clock. Makes it easy on us. Hopefully we queue up pretty quickly. Haven't looked at any recent news. Yeah, we're pretty full here. But if we want to get an idea, definitely has a lot of receivers ranked. Now, he did make these quite a while ago. I don't know if he's updated them since. Like, if we go ahead and look at the site, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. If we go ahead and look at Underdog Network, we look at rankings. He hasn't updated anything. Well, this article came out right after the draft, April 28th. So, not sure when he has updated these. This chart was from June 11th, updated. And yeah, we're going to get right into this. We got a draft going. We're at pick 7. He has some notes on the rookies right here. And as their rankings, has the rookie rankings here. Broken down into positional value. Got all their videos linked. I want to say this is a lot of these rankings are for full PPR, just the way he has the running backs based. But I could be completely wrong. He could be higher in on running backs. He does have CMC, and CMC goes 1 in this draft to shield wall to really flip the board. We're at pick 7. We'd be looking at like Puka, which Puka usually goes ADP wise at pick 7. Interesting to note, he does have JJ after Puka, a whole, almost 5 rounds, or not 5 rounds, 5 picks above Justin Jefferson. But Jefferson off the board. Things usually go towards ADP. Bijan does go off at 2, which is kind of another flippening there. It's usually Chase, Saquon, as you can see from ADP. Saquon does go to 5. Gibbs falls to us, so we'll take Gibbs at 7. His ADP is 6, so slight value in terms of what the market seems to think, and then also some value in what Hayden seems to think, because we get him at pick 7 and he's ranked at pick 3. Puka off at 8. Have some pretty sharp drafters in here. Again, if you're unfamiliar, the red badges mean that people have drafted a lot. Same with the black and white badges. Drafted a lot, won a lot, etc., etc. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no badge drafters, which is quite common in tournament settings, especially early in the year. You will see a lot of experienced drafters drafting right now. We're still almost, less than 3 months out from the season now, but as we get closer, a lot of less experienced drafters would be joining these tournaments, making the lobbies a little bit easier, a little bit less quote-unquote sharp. But let's go ahead and see what our next pick is going to be. He has Lad ranked right here. Lad falls to us, that's who we'll take. If not, we'll take AJ Brown. AJ Brown does go, so we'll go ahead and take Lad McConkey. Whom Hayden had ranked at 16. He normally goes at pick 18, so right around here. Nothing crazy, nothing different with this build so far. Both of our players right around ADP. Even with the big flip in CMC and Bijan going 1 and 2. So yeah, we go ahead and take a nice, balanced approach here. With Gibbs, we could break down and build a hero RB, but it'll all depend on what our next pick looks like and the value on the board. Again, we're going to try to take the best value every time based on the rankings, while still trying to build a competitive team, right? We're not going to take, 10 receivers just because the ranks say so. Rice and Higgins off at the turn to the CMC team, which is quite interesting because typically you're not getting Higgins at the other side of the board, but CMC does go on that other side of the board. So pretty unique build, I guess, where I guess when this draft opened, Rice was already going at the 2-3 turn around there, maybe a little bit early in the 3rd round. I actually did take him early in the 2nd the other day just to flip the board, but pretty unique with T on that side and then being able to get CMC. A little bit run on running back here. Jacobs, Chase Brown, and Kyron off the board. Kyron off a little bit early compared to ADP. About 4 picks early. We're up on the board. Let's go ahead and snag Devontae for our second receiver. Again, right at ADP, but according to Hayden, He's a little bit of a value at his rank 25. So haven't gotten anything in terms of value market-wise for what most drafters are saying. But this board doesn't seem to be too out of order. I think Brees does go a little bit early. Tet goes a little bit early. So a little bit of shakeups, but nothing too crazy. The nice thing about this build, we get set up for a Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford build. We can always go Jared Goff with Jahmyr Gibbs if we wanted to. We're on the clock already. Back around. It says to take Chuba, so we will go ahead and actually take Chuba. We're fine with that. Maybe could have waited on Chuba, but we're playing the ranks, and the ranks say Chuba. Get our guy and let it ride. Again, the only problem sometimes with doing this experiment, quote unquote, would be like that issue there where we're at pick 7. We're right in the middle of the board. Chuba does go average at pick 54. Typically, he could drop to us and we can get him in the 5th round. He is a 5th round player. We get him in the 4th, so technically a reach versus who we would have been taking. Someone like Worthy, DK, Hurts, Hunter, players in that range. So we could have went ahead and taken like, oh, I don't know, a George Kittle there, someone else around that, but so be it. I'm not too worried about it. It's all part of the experiment. It's all part of it. Again, Chuba could rise the ranks. We don't know. Devonta Smith falls a little bit. Kittle falls a little bit. Only like 2 picks past, but now coming up here, we could go Mixon. But again, Mixon's been a faller based on the Nick Chubb signing. In a little bit of an injury. For the sake of the experiment, though, I think we want to try to go George Pickens. Unless he goes here. Because we do want a little bit more receivers. Like, I'm happy having Gibbs. Okay, so we're going to go Pickens. I'm fine having Gibbs and Hubbard as our 2 running backs. So something that you could, I guess, point out here would be that we do take Chuba early, 12 picks early. But if he normally goes around here and Pickens normally goes around 51, very few teams are grabbing them together, I would say, at least in this area of the board, because they kind of go close to each other, so it's hard to get the picks together unless someone is reaching over on this end. So yeah, could be unique in that aspect. Mixon ends up going to 57, so he really hasn't fallen down boards even with the Chubb signing. We could have gone Mixon, just not comfortable having 3 running backs already. Although JC Too Much has 4 running backs in Jalen Hurts. But in a lobby and in a format with 3 starting receivers, even half PPR, just doesn't feel comfortable having that, especially with the teardropper receiver where we know George Pickens has a crazy high ceiling. And again, leaves us up for a Dak stack later. Godwin off the board. We're going to go ahead and grab Juwan Jennings. So we have a 0-2-4-0 build with Gibbs, Hubbard, McConkey, Adams, Pickens, Jennings. Again, if you're looking at, we did get, again, in terms of market value, George Pickens at a value, Juwan Jennings at a value. Just on the market, and then plus with the ranks, you know, George Pickens was ranked a lot higher. Same with Chuba. I'm comfortable with what we have. Sets us up. Ton of late round quarterback options. Whether we want to go 2 or 3, we have tight end options to stack with Ferguson. That would be Jake Ferguson, not Terrence Ferguson, who plays for the Rams. Possibly Jatavian Sanders. Not sure who the Chargers tight end is gonna be. Don't think anybody does. They do have Tyler Conklin now. Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta's not off the board yet, and I would be very comfortable taking him if he does fall, but both teams here don't have a tight end. Could imagine that he falls to one of these two teams that need a tight end. This guy actually really needs a receiver or he's going to be down bad. Not going to pick here. Go Shakir. He has Shakir queued up. Let's see if Laporta will drop to us once more. And we're going to go ahead and take Sam Laporta to stack with Jahmyr Gibbs. Could potentially give us a Jared Goff stack. That's a nice faller in terms of A, value, but B, we get him over 6 picks past ADP. A little bit past, like 6.2 picks. If we're getting nitpicky there. Plus, I think Hayden had him in the ranks at 67, I want to say. Yeah, it's 67. So that feels good there to now have a 0-2-4-1 build with a potential at 2 tight ends. I wouldn't necessarily call him an elite tight end right now, but he does have tight end 1 in his bag, as we've seen, even though Brock Bowers and Trey McBride do just get so much more volume. So, back on the board here. We're not interested in quarterback. Mooney off the board. We don't want either of these quarterbacks. So we're going to go ahead and take... I like Josh Downs more than Michael Pittman. So we're going to go ahead and take Downs. Another, value pick there for us. I switched it up a little bit. Again, I'm not super high on Michael Pittman as a talent and with his back injury, whereas Josh Downs has shown a lot more flash and ability. Even though Pittman does have the contract and money guaranteed as a player, they both will be, big parts of that offense with Jonathan Taylor. So happy having him as my 5th receiver there. And now we can kind of hone in on some other things that we need. Tight end, running back. Our quarterbacks aren't even coming up for quite a while with Dak, Herbert. Who else do we say? Stafford. Bryce Young's in the bag too with Chuba, kind of like a backward stack, but very plausible. Purdy off early, so we lose that possibility. That's why I didn't see him. He goes to a CMC Pearsall team. That is actually the pick 1 team. Pretty cool build. I like the build. See what other kind of values he got. Not too shabby there. Let's go back and look at our ranks. Tons of quarterbacks coming up here. Where'd CD go? CD went right after us, so we could probably get Dak on the way back at 114, which is right around his ADP. So we will try to do that. And with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and take... We're going to go ahead and take Jonnu. Has an ADP of 113, so right around where would we get him on the way back. But we want to get Dak on the way back. Hopefully that happens. It should. It lines up with ADP. The CD drafter was right before us, so we should be able to snipe him. If not the worst thing in the world. We could always go Goff, Herbert, and we have some other options. We now have 2 in our bag if we want as well with Jonnu. Our couple of running backs make it concerning, but we'll weave our way in and out here. So coming up here with some experienced drafters, can't imagine Dak gets sniped here. Tracy off the board. A tight end needs to go eventually for this guy here. He goes Najee, so we're going to go ahead and get our guy in Dak to lock up the Pickens Dak stack. Still technically the ability to go Ferguson as well, to have the double stack there. Jaden Blue at some point. But yeah, we need to start tapping some running backs here along the way. We haven't taken a running back since round 4. We're moving into round 11, where most teams already have, 3 running backs. We are stuck on 2. That's just the risk we take, though. So it would probably feel a little more comfortable going 6 running back build here. But it all depends. If Goff made it back here, which he actually might make it back. Same with Herbert. Since we have McConkey, although if a team has Trey Harris right here, they could also go with Herbert. Herbert actually off there, unstacked. I guess he just needed a quarterback, and he's looking to go. I don't even know who he would go later. Is he just one-offing Justin Herbert? Not sure who he would even want to stack with Herbert. So I guess kind of just randomly snipe there off of him. Same with the Trey Harris guy. I mean, so be it. I guess you could come around and get like QJ later. Is his plan? We're going to go ahead and avoid tight end right now. We do not need a tight end. What we really need is a running back at this stage. We lose all of our quarterbacks actually in Goff as well. Goff at 117 to the Montgomery team. We're on the board here. We're going to go ahead and take Ramondre. Again, another ADP value there. On the way back around, again, we still need more running backs. We may have to go, we're probably gonna have to go 3 quarterbacks here. We shall see though what will happen here. So a little unlucky on the quarterback run. It went right after us. Which I'm not, is Goff off at ADP there? Yeah, Goff does go right at ADP. Which is interesting enough because who does he even have on that team? Montgomery, but yeah, that's interesting. I guess he could go Tesla. Ferguson off of 136. Do we want to see if quarterbacks fall, or should we just go Bryce? No, let's go ahead and stick our face into Ray Davis here. So now we have a 1-4-5-2 build. And then we're kind of just banking on Bryce to a Stafford falling to us. But then we're kind of stuck in the world of Daniel Jones. So-and-so. Because I'm not sure where we could build something at somewhere else. Stafford does feel nice in terms of what he presents this year. And the Puka team's right here, so I feel decent about it. He goes Stroud with Kirk. Pretty upset at losing Justin Herbert. Like, I really thought he would just make it back around to his ADP, basically. And we get sniped on him. I guess this guy's going to build QJ right here. Is what I would imagine that he wanted to do. Yep, so I get it. Whatever. You need a quarterback and you need to build something. And it falls in line with you. So be it. That's the risk we take. Going late around quarterback and hoping for a faller. The wide receiver room does feel nice. We're going to go ahead and stick with Bryce Young. So far we have Dak and Bryce at quarterback. Bryce with Chuba. We can always build like Thielen later, Coker. I don't think Stafford makes it his way back, although the Fields Love team has Puka. And that team feels nice enough to where they don't need a third quarterback, maybe. He does need tight ends. He's pushed tight end all the way back. So There is potential. A lot of these guys have elite quarterbacks, so they're 2 building, which does give us the path to Matt Stafford. The only way I see him going, but the Kyron team is all the way over here, so we're in line. Never mind. Okay, he goes 3 quarterbacks with an unstacked Matt Stafford. Okay. With Lamar, Caleb is kind of nutty. Whatever. I mean, dude, people are out of their minds sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and probably have to roll with Tua here. So we go Dak, Bryce, Tua. Now the risk we take is, do we roll 2 tight ends? Is the question. We do get 2 at a discount, 10 picks past ADP. Got him nicely stacked with Jonnu. We have Bryce with Chuba. And Dak with Pickens. Would have loved to have Goff instead of... to have had Goff instead of Bryce Young. Would have felt nicer with Gibbs and Laporta, but overall, the build isn't horrible. We've gotten a ton of not just, value in terms of market value with how other people project these guys out, but tons of value just in terms of the rankings that Hayden has built out for us to go ahead and use. We haven't had to reach on a ton of picks. Outside of getting sniped on like Stafford, Herbert, we've had things fall to us. We haven't really gotten sniped outside of quarterback. I feel strongly about our receivers. All guys that I'm fully in on this year at cost and definitely at value. We're about to be on the board. We do Chubb off at 172. I was going to say we do need running back badly, but we do need to get some receivers in here. We can get Daniel Jones out of there. We already have Downs, so not fully comfortable with Alec Pierce. We could probably wait on Slayton. So maybe we go Will Shipley here. Lock in another running back. So 3-5-5-2. I haven't taken a receiver since round 8. Will Shipley maybe get some more play this year, more run, contingent on a Barkley injury as well, which is seemingly in the forecast after 500 total touches, including playoffs. So the big question is, do we stick with 2 tight ends or do we roll the dice and go 3? These are guys that, I could feel confident in and being a 2 tight end build. Injury at that position is definitely a thing. If we really wanted to, we can push Jatavian Sanders. But let's go ahead and grab, we definitely want a receiver right here. So let's go ahead and grab we're gonna get rid of quarterback. We don't need quarterback. We're gonna go ahead and grab Slayton. If he stays around. He's at the top of ranks for our rankings. We're going to go ahead and go Darius Slayton. Lock him in as our 6th receiver. He's definitely going to be out there. Definitely will have some upside with Russ as quarterback with the deep ball. If Jameis ever has to play, definitely upside there. And just a better overall quarterback situation than he's had in probably all of his career for Darius Slayton, in my mind. AR goes a 193. Ooh, Purdy AR. So I feel as if the team at the 1 kind of fumbled the bag there. He's down to like no quarterbacks. I don't even know who he could take. He's kind of stuck. We're on the board. We could take a risky out here on Keenan Allen if we wanted to. And I think our team feels good enough to do that. To take Keenan Allen. He's going to sign somewhere, hopefully. He's 10 picks past ADP. Another big value for us. Hayden had him ranked at, I think, 179 there. So a whole 20. Contingent on him signing a team, though. So now we're either dialed up for a third tight end, or a sixth running back. I think we play it safe and try to go Jatavion Sanders if he falls. I don't know if he will with these two teams at 2 tight ends. This guy's Ferguson Pitts. He goes Arroyo. This guy's Henry and Otten. He goes Jawan. So we're going to go ahead and lock in Jatavion Sanders to pair with Bryce and Chuba and finish our build 3-5-7-3. I feel good enough here. Obviously, it would feel a lot better if Keenan actually signed to a team. But yeah, we get 3-5-7-3 build to end it off. We went Jatavion. He was on the top of the ranks for people that were left for us, which kind of made our decision for us with who we needed. Could have easily went Jerome Ford or Zach Moss. Some other guys that I really like down here. Ray, things like that if we wanted a receiver. But we end up with Dak, Bryce, and Tua at quarterback. Gibbs, Hubbard, Stevenson, Davis, and Shipley at running back. Definitely going to have to be carried by the top 2 guys. And then hopefully New England's a little better. Ray Davis maybe needs some run out with some regression to James Cook and positive regression for himself. And then Will Shipley, again, contingent on something happening probably to Saquon for him to be a play. But then we also, with the receiver room, feel very confident in, Ladd, Devontae, Pickens, Juwan, Downs, Slayton, and Keenan, as long as Keenan signs to a team. Otherwise, we are just running on a 0. So hopefully he's signing soon. I haven't seen any news on him having any talks with anybody. And then at tight end, Laporta, Jonnu, and Jatavion Sanders. Got some nice stacks there with Pickens and Prescott, Bryce, Chuba, and Jatavion, and then Tua and Jonnu. And then a little bit of correlation with Laporta and Gibbs. So that's going to round out the build there for our draft with the Underdog Network rankings made by Hayden Winks. Again, if you want to check those out, make sure you hit the link in the description It'll take you to the Underdog network, and you can check out those rankings for yourself. You can import them via CSV into your Underdog rankings. And again, if you want to play on Underdog and you haven't already signed up, link in description, code TEMPTATION. That's spelled in the description too for you. Deposit match up to $1,000 on your first deposit. And yeah, if you've liked this video, go ahead, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on what you thought of the draft, what you think of the rankings, what you would have done differently, or any questions that you may have for fantasy football yourself. Right? And then make sure you hit that bell notification button as well to know when we go live. Cool. Now on to one more draft here. So this is going to be without any rankings. We made that previous one for a video. We're going to go ahead and get into another 20-second draft and work here ourselves. Let's actually go name that draft, by the way. What do we do here? Save that. We should be in a draft. 30 seconds to start. Pick 6 for us. It'll be fun. Take all the best ball rankings here. Oh, we can save that for, there we go. That's cool. But I don't know if that's, Pick 6, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we can build this time around. I want to be on ranks. CD off at 5. Let's go ahead and take BTJ. Let's make a statement. Let's flip the board a little bit. I'm kind of bored. Take him as the wide receiver 4. Probably not in his range of outcomes, but make it a little different. They play the Colts, so whatever. Seems probably already dead in the water, but you never know. We could have went Amon Ra. We have no Amon Ra. Would love CD to follow us, but it's alright, no big deal there. Jonathan Taylor off at 16. Incredible. 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 BTJ, let's go like T. Go ahead, snag T. I don't think I have any T Higgins, so don't think I have any Brian Thomas. So why not make a team? I do have some T Higgins. I have like one share, but why not make a team of T? Make it fun. I'm bored. Flip the room. This actually isn't that competitive of a draft. There's only 3 badges in here, so could get spicy, could get quirky, could get crazy. Probably shouldn't have taken BTJ there. I probably should have taken Puka. Now that I think about it. I think I would have been more comfortable having like a Puka T. Whatever. Whatever. Let's get just crazy, I guess. I'm telling you. Tell you what. I tell you what. What? Chase Brown off the board. Jacobs off. Scum McBride. Gives us out to Kyler, Burrow, T-Law. Not mad about it. Can we take BTJ as the 4th overall? Do I think he has that path in him? Not necessarily. But the spike weeks are there. I like T. I like the unique build. We get Trey. Typically, if BTJ is going over here, and we're getting him here, a little crazy, but nobody's really drafting T over here, and nobody's drafting McBride on this side of the board. So, unique in itself. And then should be able to get Burrow at like 67, I'd imagine. Unless people go crazy. Boom, boom, boom. Why does he keep doing that? We could get Worthy. We could go with the double with Travis. We'll go Devonta Smith. Travis off at 44. Probably not a ton of teams with BTJ and Travis Hunter. So it would have been an interesting pick, but I like Devontae. Gives us an out at Hurts and Burrow. And I just like queuing up my quarterbacks to know where they're at. So those are our quarterback outs. All guys that I'm comfortable if I take two that I would have. I would be comfortable with them as two quarterback builds if I had two of them. Like we could tab Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. It's a lot of capital, but could if we wanted. We do need a running back. Hurts off. The team won. Crazy to even imagine that they would go Burrow. But there's no way the Burrow would fall to 78. Yeah, we do need running back. Hubbard off. We're gonna go Burrow on the way back, so let's go. We'll go Kenneth Walker. Kamara off 57. Really wanted Waddle there, but I don't want to go. Need a running back. Again, gonna try to make this like a 6 RB build or something. Probably gonna be 2 tight end, 2 quarterback. Or one of the two. So we can feel good about whatever we're doing here. We're gonna end up going Burrow. 67. This is what I think I want to do. We get sniped on Burrow? Dude, guy's on drugs. All right. We don't get Burrow. Let's go ahead and take James Conner. Our week 8 bye weeks are really starting to stack up. Get sniped on Burrow. Hopefully we can get Kyler. I don't know. This seems to be like a quarterback heavy draft. This is actually the problem with drafting in like unexperienced draft rooms with like, again, the badges not being there because a lot of these people have no idea what they're doing. So this guy just goes, hero RB and drafts an unstacked Joe Burrow, and he's not going to have anybody to stack Burrow with unless it's Gesicki or you're taking like Jermaine Burton and Andre Yoshivas, but like no reason to take quarterback there whatsoever. So that is the problem you run into. But not my problem. I mean, it's going to be my problem eventually if I don't get Kyler Murray, but at some point it's not my problem, right? Go ahead and take Matthew Golden. Set us up for some love. Like any of these three quarterbacks, if I can get two of them, I'm happy. I'm cool with having them on my roster. Completely fine with having them stacked on my team and having two of them, only two of them. Perfectly fine with that. Baker off, see, this is what I'm saying. Baker off at 83 to the Evans Godwin team. Baker goes off almost 10 picks ahead of ADP. He probably could have got him at the turn there, first off. He probably could have waited. This guy wasn't taking Baker from him. Goes ahead and takes Mooney in London. He's just double stacking both Atlanta and Tampa. Don't hate it. Cup off the board. Pittman off the board. We'll take our Kyler. That way the Marv team doesn't get Kyler. We stack Kyler with McBride and James Conner. Feeling good there. And then we'll see what comes back around. Probably go running back or receiver. We'll definitely get running back receiver. These next two picks here. Fields off in 95. What are we looking at? Ooh, Downs almost made it to us. That would have been spicy. Trey Harris off the board. I don't feel horrible about Jalen Warren. Matter of fact, might go Jalen Warren here. Yeah, we'll lock in Jalen Warren as our third running back. Don't have any. So I feel pretty good there. Caleb off at 105. The Lamar team, Rome team. You know, I just don't know how to feel sometimes about these. Now I guess the tricky thing is, do we wait for one of Love and T-Law back? I think we do. I think we can make it. I think we can make the Jordan Love work. The T-Law might go to this Hunter team. Actually, T-Law can't even be an option for us because of the bye week. We're just gonna take Andrews with McBride. I have like a dead spot for receivers. Not that cushy. You know, I don't hate taking Charbonnet as like a stacked build, but we have James Conner in week 8, so I don't like. That's what I don't like. All the week 8 buys that we're stacking up. I do imagine the Hunter team takes T-Law, maybe? Well, then we just have a decision. Do we? I think we have to take Jordan Love. He's healthy this year. Dak off of 123 falls to 123. Who does he have? Pickens? Nope, unstacked Dak. The unstacked Dak team, classic. Dude, we get sniped by the dude. I'm gonna freak out. Ugh. I'm going Justin Herbert. And we're gonna get QJ later. Unstacked Jordan Love? You have Travis Hunter, dude. Like, what are you doing? I can't play with these people, man. I get you have Josh Jacobs, but like, dude, bro. Brain rot, dude. These people are brain rot. This shit'll make you lose your mind with the amount of brain rot these people suffer through. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's a toughie. It's a toughie for sure. We couldn't go T-Law because of the week 8 bye. My brain just kind of melted with the people that I'm like drafting with. It's insane, actually. Just gonna go ahead and stack QJ like as our 5th receiver. Like, hopefully that pans out. Kind of have to reach just to make sure we get him, but is what it is. Not feeling so kosher about this draft. Almost had it fall to us, and I mean, I get it. Like, some of it is luck that you have to have things fall your way. But when you have absolute nimwits and nimrods playing this game, and then he ends up getting Tucker Craft like at a value, so it works out for him. Doesn't work out for us, and that's just unfortunate. Really focused on running back receivers right now. Eckler off at 147. Rashad White off. Would have loved to have Rashad White. Uh, we'll go Algier. We need running back. So now in a 2-4-5-2 build. Probably angling to a 2-6. 2-6-8-2. I could feel comfortable with. See what comes up here. Tesla off at 157 to the Goff team. Holy Lord. That dude is running 3 rookie receivers. Amon-Ra and Jameson. And Montgomery. And Laporta. Brother. Are you smoking boners? What is this team? Dude, smoking crack rock. Smoking it all. Palmer off. Do we go Roshan? Shipley, Pierce. Could go Pat Bryant. Could go Thielen. Go Braylon Allen. Mix it up. Roshan off at 164. Do love me some Rico. Right now we have the Arizona stack with James Conner and Trey McBride, Justin Herbert and QJ. Could have went Pat Bryant because of the Week 16 Jags play them. Alec Pierce still in play for Week 17 Jags. So we do have options at Pat Bryant or Alec Pierce. I don't know who the Chargers play Week 17. We play Houston and then the Cowboys Week 16. Alec Pierce off, so we will go Pat Bryant. So that puts us at a 2-5-6-2 build. Gives us some correlation to the Jaguars Denver game. Cam Ward falling a ton again this draft? I think he's always falling. So we need 2 receivers, 1 running back. You have 2 rookie receivers. Chubb off. Am I about to go Darius Slayton again? Very tempting. Very tempting to go Slayton again. We go Calvin Austin though. We go Slayton. Locking the routes, locking the deep ball. Could have went Miles Sanders there. He ends up going there. Damn, wouldn't have mind Miles Sanders, actually. It's alright. I think we go for like a Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford and Zach Moss are options. Keaton Mitchell. Never mind, Keaton Mitchell goes. Dylan Sampson goes. I think I'm cool lining up like a Jerome Ford here. Then grabbing one more receiver more than likely. I mean, Mason Taylor just makes it. The only problem is, again, like I say all the time, if I'm putting 3rd round capital into Trey McBride, it's hard to not have like 2 tight end builds there. We're either going like 2-2. Ray. Probably locking like Ray. Tyler Lockett's still an option. Just I think he loses his job though. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not full in on Tennessee. We'll go Ray Ray just because we have Algier as well. So we end with a 2-6-8-2 build. Got sniped on some things. Not the build exactly how we wanted, but end up with Murray Herbert at quarterback, Walker Connor, Warren, Algier, Allen Ford at running back. BTJ, Higgins, Devonta Smith, Golden, Johnston, Bryant, Slayton, McLeod at receiver, and then McBride Andrews at tight end. So we'll live with that. We'll live with it. We'll live with it. And then we'll name it whenever it's done. Bang. Completed. Schnauzer. Bang. What's today? 6/17. All right, that's fine. All right, over an hour into the stream, we got 2 more Schnauzers in. We're about 55% full on the Schnauzer. We still have 9 more drafts to go for the Schnauzer to get in. We're kind of right on pace actually to complete it on stream. And then, like I said from early in the draft, that's going to be a long form video with the Underdog rankings. Make sure you look out for that one sometime later this week. And yeah, appreciate you guys for coming out, whether you're listening live or on a rerun, playback, whatever it may be. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Tap the bell for notifications so you know when we go live. And then leave a comment down below. You know, whatever you want. Drop anything in the comment section. Questions, comments, concerns, I guess. Or what even what you would like to see in like an Underdog tournament, like some kind of new kind of style tournament. Love those ideas. I don't have the pool to pass those on, but it will be interesting to see what you guys have to say. Again, appreciate it for coming out, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.